All right. Since I get this question a lot about the 8.1s, and occasionally, I've bought a couple now that have had flat cam lobes, and when it has a flat cam lobe, it takes out other stuff or wears other stuff out or shows wear somewhere else. So, especially if you're doing a swap and you haven't even got it in the truck yet, it's much easier to check this stuff now before you get it in the truck. So, you want to check, take everything apart. So the valve train apart, it's not that hard. Valve covers, intake, and then the tray that holds the lifters in, and you're there. And since I have a motor halfway apart out here because I'm using it to design some stuff and I got to fix it. So you take this tray out. Once you get the valve covers off, you take the push rods, rocker arms off. Then once you take the lifters out, and then what you want to do is you want to check all lifters for wear. The rollers, make sure they're not all effed up. Usually you'll see pitting if they're starting to issue. I've seen them to the point where it's pitted and then this is hitting the cam because the cam lobe's so wore out it's hitting the cam. So you just want to check that stuff. Another thing I've seen common on the 8.1s, once there's excessive clearance here, it'll start banging the tip of the rocker arms. And then I don't have any bad ones, or I'd show you what they look like. Usually I just chuck them once I don't want to hold on to that junk. And especially if people that have been to my place know that I have a lot of junk. But it'll wear this out, it'll wear this. Sometimes the tips of these are not, these rocker arms are actually off of a 2.2 Chevy. I don't have any spares to show you, or I just using what I got. Check the tips of the push rods. I guess some of the early 8.1s didn't have tapered push rods. That's another thing to check. But you want to check that. You can tell, especially if you take them all, lay them out, and then you'll see that some will have scuffing, and then the rocker arm that corresponds with it will have scuffing in it as well. Another place I like to wear is kind of hard to see because the light sucks. Let me see if I get out of the sun. I like to wear with the ball rides in them. But these are all the things you need to check. And once you get all that out, rotate the motor over and look at all the cam lobes, especially the lift point, because that's normally where it wears out. When you pull this stuff out, just keep track of where it came from, no matter how you do it. And if everything looks good, then you're good to go. You know, clean it up, lubricate it, put it back together. But it comes up enough where I guess me typing it, nobody seems to understand or know where to look. So these are things I would check. If you don't know anything about the motor and you just bought it, there's just one thing I'd check, especially if you haven't got it into the truck yet or into whatever you're swapping in. That's what I would do. The most common thing I've seen is sometimes it'll eat a lifter or eat a camshaft, and then it'll take out the lifter, and then it'll screw up this, especially if it's something like a Schwann's truck where it's idled a lot. So it's just something to be aware of.